Hello, everybody. I am going to go ahead and get started. We'll just let the last couple of people file in and then we'll go for the day. Hello, everybody. I am going to go ahead and get started. We'll just let the last couple of people file in and then we'll go for the day. All right. Hello. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jody. I'm with Momentum.
I am going to go ahead and get started.
We'll just go ahead and begin the presentation here. We are broadcasting live to YouTube, so sorry if anybody heard that, but we're going to get right into financial wellness and mental health. I'm really excited to do this last presentation with you guys of the year. I think this is probably one of the most important ones that we've done all year. But before I get started, I did want to say that in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, being the Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda Nation, and the Métis Nation Region 3. And I welcome all y'all here today. All of us that make our home here in the Southern Alberta Treaty 7 region. I'm really excited to get started, so I will go ahead and jump right in. We're going to be talking about financial wellness and mental health today. But before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and Momentum. So I'm a financial empowerment facilitator here at Momentum. And at Momentum, we work with people living on low income, all of the people in Calgary that need a little bit of assistance on financial wellness. We look to create a thriving local economy for all, which I really think is a fantastic vision and mission for us. And we stand behind both of them. We believe that people need assistance, and we are here really just to give that as we can around financial wellness. How we do that is through our money management program. It's a great program. You can come and take 5 different classes, and you're able to get some assistance around budgeting and banking. We learn about credit, assets, consumerism, lots of great things. And those courses run on Monday nights through Zoom from 6:30 to 8:30, and you can visit us at momentum.org to register. We've got some other great programs as well. For example, we have our trades training where you can start at Momentum and then eventually move into SATE, where you can learn and begin your program in a trade. We've got a couple of them and they run at different times, from pipe fitting to auto mechanic to heavy duty mechanic. There's quite a few. So just go ahead and contact us at momentum.org for more info. We also have a fantastic savings program. We've got our match savings. We have an online Cuber app. All of this information is at momentum.org, as well as we have our Tech Plus training and some other match savings programs. So please, financial coaching as well is another fantastic one we have if you need any assistance building a budget. So like I said, reach out to us at momentum.org. We've got lots of information and lots of wonderful people that can help you if you have any more questions. So we generally are about 20 minutes with our program today. We will have a question and answer period at the end. I do ask that you use the question and answer feature versus the chat, because the chat gets lost. People start to ask lots of questions and it gets lost all the way through. So I would prefer if you use the question and answer. It's just easier for me to keep track of, okay? And if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to go ahead and type them right in there. So financial wellness and mental health. Before I dive in, I'm just going to answer the question. Somebody asked if we're automatically muted and have our videos off. Yes, yes. I can't see you or hear you, but you will be able to unmute if you need to answer any questions. Okay, so financial wellness and mental health. So what does that really mean? You know, there's a lot of talk about financial wellness and there's a lot of talk about mental health. Okay, so are they two separate entities? Well, in all honesty, no, they're not. They go together. Okay, your financial wellness is tied to your mental health. You build them together, you work on them together, and they affect each other greatly every day. They affect our daily lives, right? Our financial wellness affects our mental health, which can affect how we are functioning at our job, how we're dealing with our family members, how we even meet the people on the street, right? And even still, it affects us. Are we able to get out of bed? Are we able to continue functioning through the day, right? If we have a lot of stress around our finances and our mental health, that's impacted, and it's really tough for us to continue moving forward. So let's look at a little bit about what the difference is between the two and how they go together, right? And how we can use them together, okay? So financial wellness, really what financial wellness is being able to meet your current and ongoing financial needs. That's what financial wellness is, okay? It's feeling secure about your financial future. Okay, that's another piece of financial wellness. Being free to make choices that allow you to enjoy life. All of these pieces encompass financial wellness, right? And you can see we paraphrased this right from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay, we paraphrased it right from there because we really felt that it does meet our version of what financial wellness is. And y'all, I just want to say, you can be financially well living on a low income. Okay, just because you have a high income doesn't necessarily mean you are financially well, right? Being financially well means what you do with your resources, right? What you do with your money that you do have, how you use your skills around budgeting, around financial knowledge, all of these things, okay, encompass what financial wellness is. So you can imagine you can be very, very wealthy and have great amounts of money running through your bank account, but be very unwell financially, okay? So let's just look at a few tips for achieving financial wellness. Financial wellness is so important. It's so important because most Canadians feel stressed about money on a regular basis, y'all. Okay. In this season where we're all being impacted by a global pandemic that, it's impacting all of us, that number is probably a whole lot higher than we actually think. Okay. Thinking about pursuing financial wellness right now, it might not be something you're considering. Okay. Because it's uncertain right now. And we're really not sure about our financial wellness and how we can keep moving forward, right? There's job loss. There is increased cost, right? There's people having to be at home all the time and manage their kids while trying to work. Okay. There's the fear of contracting COVID or about our parents maybe getting it, right? There's so much going on around us that I actually think the number is a whole lot higher about this of Canadians that feel stressed around their financial wellness, right? So let's have a look at a few tips really on how we can achieve financial wellness. So one of the ways is to set goals and make a budget. Okay, so set realistic goals, right? So this isn't a time to dream big and have lofty, unattainable goals. These are goals that we're looking at that are realistic. Okay, financial goals need to be big enough for us to get excited about, but small enough that we can actually achieve them. Okay. So that might mean putting away $50 each paycheck or cutting up your credit card, maybe even paying off your balance if you can each time you use it, right? If you split up your financial goals into short term and long term, they're more easily attainable. Okay. So short term goals are achievable within 6 months to a year. Okay. And long term goals, anything longer than a year is what's considered long term. Okay. So it might even be, a key thing to rename your bank accounts when you're looking at setting your goals, whether it's savings or whether it's to buy something. Okay. Whatever it might be, if you can rename your bank account to things such as holiday, right? It inspires you to look there and think, yes, I'm going to save. Okay, I'm going to save, and I can see that this is called holiday, so I know I'm going to think twice before spending it, right? When you're looking at goals, you want to really make sure they're smart. We talk about SMART goals all the time. Okay. And so what SMART means is they're specific. So you want to keep them specific because you want to know exactly what it is you're trying to achieve. Right? You want to know what it is and why you want to achieve it. Okay. You want it to be measurable. So you want to be able to measure your goal so that you can see how you are coming along in your progress. right? You also want your goal to be achievable, right? So make sure when you're setting goals that are achievable, you want them to be, like I said, small enough that you can get excited about it and small enough that you can see you achieving them. But at the same time, you want them to be large enough that it makes an impact on what it is that you're doing, right? You want your goals to be relevant. Okay, so they should be specific to your overall objective, right? You don't want to just set a goal that doesn't meet your overall family needs, whatever they may be. And of course, you want them timely. You know what, y'all? We can say, I want to save money all day long. But if we don't have some sort of a timeline in place where we think, you know what, I want to save this money by this date, then we are not going to achieve it. Okay. You got to have a specific timeline so that you're more inclined to meet that goal. Okay. A couple of things that you might want to think about when you're setting goals and making a budget is, knowing what you want to achieve for the year. So look at it long term. Okay. Look at your income and your expenses. What's your money coming in versus your money going out? Okay. Do they balance? Do you need to make some adjustments? And then, like it says, decide if you need to reduce any of your expenses. Okay. Are your income and your expenses not really lining up very well? And if they're not, how are you going to change that? How are you going to make them line up, right? So that you can achieve your financial goals. Okay. Another part of financial wellness is being able to track your spending, right? If you don't track your spending, you really don't have an accurate picture of your financial health. Okay. Where our money is going and where we think it's going, y'all, it very rarely actually lines up, right? So tracking your expenses and knowing where that money is going is key in your financial wellness. Okay. There's lots of apps out there that you can access, lots of apps. And in fact, you can actually track your expenses right in most of your banking apps if you have your banking on your cell phone. Okay. If you do this exercise over the month, you can probably really get a good handle on what it is you're spending money on. Chances are most of us will be slightly surprised when we look at our tracking and how much money we have spent, right? So as you do it over time, you will start to see, where am I wastefully spending my money? Where am I spending my money with my heart? Where is it important? Right? And so at some point, looking at your money that is being spent on things that maybe you don't need, things that you aren't using, right? Looking at this money and deciding, you know what, I'm going to take this cash that I spend here and I'm going to save it, or I'm going to invest it, I'm going to use it to reach my goals, helps us with our financial wellness. It helps us just feel better overall about our finances. Okay, so really be able to evaluate what that looks like. Another piece when we think about our financial wellness is just being able to reduce our debt, right? So how do we do that? You make a plan, okay? Making a plan can really help you get a handle on reducing your debt, right? Collecting your debt and forgetting about it will never make it go away. Okay. So you need to make some sort of a plan. You need to be aware of it, know exactly how much it is and how much you need to repay to make it go away. Okay. And in order to do that, making a plan is a fantastic way. One such thing we actually talk a lot about here at Momentum is something called Power Pay. So you can actually Google Power Pay. They have a website you can go to, and you can Google them and go to them to find out more information. But the bones of Power Pay is that you pay a little bit, or the minimum payment at least, on every debt that you have each month. And then you choose one debt to pay a little bit more on. Okay. And so that debt, you're paying your minimum plus a little bit more. And then when that debt is paid off, you take this lump sum and you transfer it to your next debt on top of your minimum payment. So you have your lump and your minimum payment. And then when that debt is paid off, you take that lump sum and you transfer it to the next debt. So you pay your minimum and the lump, and you keep paying, and it power pays. And you can almost cut your payback time in half if you engage in power pay behavior. It is a fantastic way to begin your debt reduction. Okay. The next real part about financial wellness is having savings. And savings can be a very tough conversation to have, especially if you feel like you just don't have the money, right? If you're living on a low income and you feel like you just can't do it, or even if you have, a moderate to middle income, but you're just strapped, right? Between your debt repayment, between your kids, between your job, whatever it might be, all of these things that are taking from you, sometimes it can be hard to recognize that you need to have a savings plan, right? But I have a couple of great tips for you to begin that process. So, really, the first thing you want to do is put it in your budget. Make savings a reality for you by putting it in your budget, okay? Pay yourself first and make it automatic. These are the next two pieces. So, you put it in your budget. You pay yourself first and you make it automatic. It comes out of your account every month without you even realizing, straight into your savings account. And maybe it's even a savings account with a fancy name on it. Like I said, holiday, new car, whatever it might be. But it's a place where your money is going in order to save it, okay? So that one day you can use it to achieve your goal. If you pay yourself first and you put it in your budget and you make it automatic, and then I always talk about a little bit about grace here too, right? So if you've done all three of these things and you've put your savings away and it comes to the end of the month and you need to get milk, or maybe you need bread for the kiddos, whatever it might be, you need new shoes for work, you'll notice that you have that cushion already. So you see, oh, I've got a little bit of savings going on here. I can use this because I need it, right? But you know what, y'all? There's going to be some months when you don't need to have that grace and you don't need to use it. And all of a sudden your savings is building and it's getting bigger and bigger, right? And you're starting to really achieve that goal you have for savings, right? Savings can be hard and scary. And there isn't a perfect formula. So I can't sit here and say, you know what, y'all, you need to save $150 a month, because that's not at all true. You need to save what feels comfortable for you. And that's part of putting it in your budget. If you work through your budget and you find you have that extra $10, $15, $20 a month, whatever it might be, you can recognize that you can take that little lump, or that big lump, that lump of money, and put it into savings and have it as a savings plan for the future. Okay, so creating a savings plan can be a really great way to increase your financial wellness. Okay. Another fantastic tool in your belt for increasing your financial wellness is increasing your financial literacy. So, of course, at Momentum, we do have the money management program that I told you about. We have them both on demand, which means you can go to this website, courses.momentum.org, and you can take them for free at home in front of your computer with a glass of tea. Okay. And you can take them and just get that impact from your financial literacy and that understanding. Okay. I like to say you fill your backpack full of tools. And this is one great way to do that in the comfort of your own home. But if you like someone to talk to and kind of help you work through and use a live person to teach you, we also have our online courses for money management. And these ones, you can go to momentum.org and register. They're Monday nights from 6:30 to 8:30. You can join. Again, they're free. So they're a fantastic resource where you can come and just get more help with your financial literacy, right? And really, if you have any questions or if you need anything support around financial literacy, reach out to us at momentum.org, right? We've got so much information to share and we just love it. We're so passionate about it. So please feel free to reach out at any time. So we talked a little bit about financial wellness, right? So setting goals, having our budget set, reducing our expenditures, tracking what we're spending our money on. All of these things help our financial wellness. So let's look at the flip side of that coin, at mental health. Okay, so what is mental health? Well, as defined by the World Health Organization, it's a state of well-being in which the individual realizes her own abilities, where they can cope with normal stresses on life, where they can work productively and fruitfully, and they're able to contribute to their community. That is the root of mental health. Okay, so it's the ability to cope with normal stresses in life, the ability to work productively, to be part of your community. All of these things are how the World Health Organization defines mental health. And I would say the same thing. That's exactly what makes up our mental health, right? And so being able to cope with the normal stresses in life and being able to recognize your ability, that's all tied in your financial wellness, right? In your understanding of your finances. So let's dig into that just a little bit. Let's look at some different tips for mental wellness and how we can improve our mental wellness. Okay. So, one of them, of course, y'all, first and foremost, just be kind to yourself. Know that you are wonderful. Remember, you have a great many assets, and try to be more positive in the way you talk to yourself. Y'all, society does a great job of tearing us down and telling us all the things that we're doing terrible, how we are not meeting the needs or how we are not meeting the bar set by other people for us, right? We very commonly engage in negative self-talk around I can't do, I can't, I'm not. And I'm going to challenge you today to start thinking about all the things you can do, all the things that are positive about you, all the wonderful behaviors, the people around you, the different assets you have that are just making you who you are, okay? And try and just be more positive if you can. And I'm not saying that flippantly where we can just sit back and say, if you just try and be positive, it'll be better, because I understand that's not at all true. But if you can start challenging that negative talk that is happening for you and turning it around slowly, that will change, right? We call that cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Where you start challenging your thoughts and your beliefs, whether it's about your world or whether it's about you or what is happening for you. And if you can start challenging those thoughts and beliefs and using them to create good change in your life, it can just help you have an overall more positive mental wellness journey. Okay. The next piece is really find a hobby, y'all. I gotta say, I love Brene Brown. I listen to her all the time, or I re-listen to her on the daily, just to hear her positive way that she looks at the world and the way she affects the world. And I listened to this fantastic podcast about creativity and how creativity really helps us achieve more mental wellness. Okay. And I love her quote here, I'm not very creative, doesn't work. Okay, don't go there. You can just hear her voice if any of you have ever listened to her before. Okay, there's no such thing as creative people and non-creative people, she says. There's only people who use their creativity and people who don't. Okay, she says unused creativity, it's not benign, y'all. It still lives in there and it's just waiting for you to express it. Okay, if you neglect it or if you suffocate it with resentment and fear, it may then stay buried deep. But she absolutely says it's in all of us. And creativity doesn't necessarily mean painting a picture. Y'all, I can't paint to save my life, right? Creativity comes in many forms: dancing, singing, creating for people, crocheting, baking, cooking, right? Having conversations that are meaningful where you are just talking about things that are important to you. That is a form of creativity, right? Using your brain to impart knowledge or enjoy knowledge from the world. That is creativity. And all of these things can help our mental wellness, right? All of these things validate who we are and our feelings. And so I firmly believe in finding a hobby as part of your mental wellness journey, and try many, right? Maybe painting isn't for you, so you try drawing. Drawing isn't for you, so you try writing, right? Try what works for you, okay? And when you love it, you'll keep going. Another one, and people shake their head when I say, well, have you gotten any sleep lately? Our brains do not function at maximum capacity if we have not slept. Okay, sleep and mental health, they go hand in hand, right? And I know, again, that's easier said than done often, but we really need the rejuvenating properties of sleep. Okay, we really need that in order to achieve our positive mental wellness. Okay, so if you can get that sleep in, our brains need rest. Okay, they do actually physically get tired from all of the things that are going on, the stresses, the thoughts, the work that we have to do, the people we engage with. All of these things cause our brain to get tired. And sometimes it'll just shut down. So getting that sleep allows you to have a more positive outlook and feel more mentally well. Okay. The next form is really, if you are looking for positive mental wellness, get some regular exercise, okay? And so that doesn't necessarily mean, running and playing sports, but you can go for a walk, okay? Ride your bike, dance it out. I don't know if y'all have ever watched that Grey's Anatomy show where there's a couple of them, Meredith and her friend. They dance it out, right? When something's amiss for them, they dance it out. And you know what? That is actually a form of working through your emotions. Okay, you need to actually physically engage in some sort of exercise to release the emotions that you have pent up all day. And so getting regular exercise, whether that's dancing in the kitchen while you cook, putting your feet on the earth and going for a walk, whatever it might be, just some sort of regular exercise will let your emotions process through your body, which then allows you to have a more complete financial wellness journey. You know what, y'all? This year has been a tough one, and we're about to go into a season where we feel isolated and maybe we feel alone and we just don't feel like we have anybody to talk to. And if that is you, I'm going to encourage you to call 211 in the distress center. If you need any assistance at all, please reach out at any time to them and they can assist you on your mental wellness journey. And us at Momentum, we would absolutely love to engage with you on a financial wellness journey. So please feel free to reach out to us as well. That being said, I did want to mention this is our very last Momentum Money Talks. I am a little bit sad about that because it has been a fantastic year learning with you guys, bringing information to you, engaging with you, and really just being able to work through this whole endeavor of a year for us together. It's been so great. If you want to watch any of our past recordings, absolutely go to momentum.org and you can see them there. They're also on our YouTube channel. While this is farewell, it is not a firm goodbye because in the new year, we will be having increment money talks where you can come and just learn what might be hot, maybe a hot button financial wellness topic at the time. And so we'll definitely be engaging in those. And if we do, we'll have them on our website, we'll promote them through social media, and we'll work hard to get that information out there. But other than that, I just want to say goodbye. Happy holidays. I hope you all stay warm. And like I said, please feel free to reach out if you need any assistance at all. Thank you, Veronica, so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope some of the information really helped you. But other than that, thank you, y'all, and take care.